then you can easily do this, and it's quite similar. And there are two ways which I think would be correct, or there are two ways you can do this. You can write 4 as 4 to the power x as 2 to the power 2x. Now what does this mean? This means that 2 to the power remains even. If 2 to the power is even, then your answer is true, otherwise it's false. Also just think about it, whether a negative number can be a power of 4. Here you can see that constraints there are, it can go to int min to int max, so negative numbers are also given as input. Think about it, can it be a power of 4? And x, they have mentioned that x is a integer, so it's not a real number. So if it is an integer, let's say it's a negative integer, 4 to the power minus 1, then the value will be in the decimal form and it's in less than 1, so definitely it's not an integer. So whereas n is an integer, so whether it is negative or 0, the number will be not power of 4. So we got one observation, that if n is less than equals to 0, we just have to return false. Also, if you know how to find power of 2, then you can do it. We can keep a count at how many times it requires to make it to less equals to 1, and how many times it takes for n to become 1 while dividing by 2 repetitively. I'll first check if n is odd or even. If it is odd, I'll simply return false. Why do this? I did that because a odd number cannot be a power of 2, and if we are dividing it and regularly, and when we find an odd number, like let's say 10, when we divide 10 by 2, it becomes 5. So 5 is not 5 cannot be power of 2. That's why we return false here, else we'll be counting and also updating 2. When we come out of it, we'll need to check that whether count is equals count %2 equals to 0. If this condition is true, then it will return true, otherwise it will return false. If you give a run to it, it will run fine, I think. Yeah, also we can submit it. Let's submit it. Now let's go to the next approach, which I am thinking of, which can also work. And the next approach is, why don't we do for the 4 itself? If we know how to find whether a number is power of 4 or not, we can do it with 4 itself. So first of all, this condition remains same, that if a number is less than equals to 0, it will not be number power 4. Also, now we don't need to count, because now we are straight away getting dividing n by 4. So if n%4 not equals to 0, now in this we have to check that whether it is not. If it is not, that means the remainder might come as 1, 2 or 3. In this condition we have to return false straight up, otherwise we have to update n by n to divide by 4, and then this loop runs. When we come out of the loop, we have to check whether n equals to 1. If it is, then it is a power of 4 rather, otherwise it is not. Let's see, it is running. Let's submit it.